I say recording.
Hello?
Okay. All right. We gonna get time. We gotta get on now. All right, so we gotta talk up because y'all.
He's back. He's back.
2 seconds, man.
Why you didn't stay?
It would have took you 2 seconds, brother. I'm sorry.
All right, y'all. I hope y'all can hear us. Give us a thumbs up if you can hear us. So we haven't. What we missed last week?
We missed the last 2 weeks.
Last 2 weeks. Thank you guys for being patient with us. This is the Four Opinions, and we'll have everybody just introduce themselves. We start over here.
Tito Wilson.
Tito Wilson.
I'm Prince Corvette.
Amika.
Okay, so we kind of gave some highlights. We just want to ask everybody to tune in right now. They can put in their questions. Tonight is gonna be a good topic that we kind of came up with. As we was proceeding, we had a couple of things that's been happening in the 2 weeks. We had some graduates and all that stuff. But back to business. So we invited these fellas today because, and Ebony's not here. Hey, Ebony, she's at school. But so we kind of came up with this conversation to we call it the state of emergency, because we as women kind of had a conversation about guys not able to have an outlet of or resources to know about a healing process. As women, we tend to have groups, we tend to have like therapy. We tend to have our girls that we can go over their house and kind of like, unwind and tell all our business too, and they can kind of like walk us through the process. But it's kind of funny that for me, I realize that men usually don't have that same opportunity. And we just wanted to like really get to the point that we understood like what we can do as women to help our brothers instead of being able to like label them like man whores or what else we call them? Dogs, bums. And it's like, okay, but when we do something, we always have an excuse, like we have something to kind of back us up for our behavior, but we typically take our black men and we kind of label them, say he ain't no good, and we tell other women that. So we wanted to know, like, this will give us an opportunity to give you guys a platform to kind of let us know what we can do as y'all black sisters, as y'all support systems, and we want to kind of chip away at that process of just putting the labels on our black men. But we got to understand, we have to understand y'all to be able to do that. So, I mean, y'all could open up and just say how you feel, because the first question that I originally, before we can even get to start talking, is like, how easy or do you even recognize that you need healing?
That's the question. So you talk about healing like after what?
Just healing. I mean, for me, because the reason why I said that is because when we tend to, I kind of gave everybody a scenario, and it's kind of like a graphic scenario, that if it was you and I was brothers and sisters and we both grew up in the same home, and if it was something that was traumatic that happened to him and I, why is it an easy resource that I can come out and be like, oh, I'm broken, or I need help, or whatever, but he has to have some kind of I don't know, like a shield up, because he's not able to say that it happened to him too. So it's like, and we have like, they just did this hashtag like me too. Like, y'all don't have anything to be like me too. Like, if I was raped, I was never raped, but if I was raped, he was in the household, just say the stepfather raped him. But we could come out and be like, oh, I'm promiscuous because I was raped, or I hate men because I'm raped, or we could say that, but he has to go through life,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Hold it in.
Yeah.
Because, the first thing that society thinks that if a man is touched like that, they wonder, is he gay?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Does he display any female tendencies? Something happens. But I'm sure there's situations where those things happen. The man that it happened to, he is gay. I can't say that he's gay because of
Right.
what happened to her in the past.
Right.
Because some guys like yeah, I believe probably never had any unfortunate situations like that happen to them. But man, we really have to be careful about how we put things out there, and particularly so who we put it out there to. Because people just have a tendency of running everybody, and women just talking too much. So,
And I mean, but women, and women, we do too. But we could say it. You know what I mean? Like I know we've been friends for a long time, and we could like, girl, we went through this or went through that. But if we're comfortable enough,
Right.
they can't go and say, you know.
But I would say, like, as a man, like, we're taught, like, manhood, and we're taught, like, to protect ourselves, and we're taught, like, to be strong and do all of that, like, within our own selves. But it's difficult, like, having gone through, first of all, I think, like, men need to admit, like, that we need healing in certain areas of our life, from not having a father around, from maybe not having a mother around, and dealing with relationships that we've been through, and we have to be able to admit that, like, hey, like, I'm hurt. Like, this thing hurt me, like, to a core. And being able to admit that, I think, is the first steps. But as men, like, we're taught and conditioned, like, to deal with our own emotions, to deal with everything, like, on our own. And we don't necessarily, like, have the outlet.
And that goes back to those core beliefs that was instilled in us. You know, when we growing up, like you said, men ain't supposed to. You know, men ain't supposed to cry. Men ain't supposed to work out feelings or emotions and things like this. They'll tell you that it's female traits for you to do so, but in all actuality, it's human traits. You're a human being. You got feelings, thoughts, and emotions just like anybody else. You know what I'm saying? Just because you have a penis and a woman don't, that don't make you less subjected to, you know what I'm saying, the things, or it don't make you more or less able to show your feelings, thoughts, and emotions. I think that relationship-wise, things would be much better if individuals just kept it real. And be like, baby, when you do this, it make me feel this type of way. Without her judging you or looking at you like you soft, you know?
Right.
Because men is portrayed to be a certain type of way. And women, they carry those stereotypes as well. You know what I'm saying? With them, they expect a man to be, they don't expect no man to come in and tell my oh baby, my feelings. You know what I'm saying? They gonna look at you like, man. You know what I'm saying? So they play a part on perpetuating that as well. Without even knowing it, just unconscious on how they was raised. And taught that how a man's supposed to be.
So what about, because there's a lot of women that are raising men, women trying to raise men. And these days, I don't know if it's a lack of that, because like the whole saggy pant thing, where do the young people get that from, do you think? When did that become cool? I don't remember that growing up. Them sagging the pants. That's very weird to me. It is. It's not weird to you. You don't. Your pants aren't saggy. Like, where did that come from? Why did the young people do that? So, do you think that that's something that's cultural, with all those single moms trying to raise young men? Do you think that those young boys being raised in the single household by a woman, do they develop that? I'm sure the mother's not teaching them to be tough and hold it all in.
Yeah, that's mostly single, because I'm a single parent. Like when
Did you teach your boys that?
Yeah, you teach your boys to be tough. But our perspective of what being tough was, I'm guilty of it. My kids are now adults, and I can speak upon it. It was like you couldn't cry. Like you had to be like tough. You had to be like, you know, all these things that because we were trying to portray a position that wasn't ours. So we did only what we knew. Like I didn't teach my kids like, oh, it's okay to cry, because we're in my era and where I'm from, like you said, it was supposed to be, it was a soft thing. We got two ladies that walked in. I don't know, hey, y'all can introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Siobhan L. Johnson.
Hey, Siobhan.
Hello, my name is Julianne.
Hey, Julianne. Okay, so you guys know we're talking about the podcast.
State of emergency.
Yeah, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4 women to let you know that Tito's coming right back. So if y'all want to come around and sit like over there, but so back to what I was saying. So for me, it's like when I was a single parent or whatever, like I taught my kids to be tough, because that was what I thought a man was supposed to be. But then it's like as I grew older and I saw my children, like to see them cry was foreign to me. because you never see a man cry. And when my kids like wanted to get in that intimate position with me, I wasn't ready to receive that because you're not supposed to cry. But it was something that hurt them. So they weren't able, and as a mother, I didn't allow them to be in tune with their emotions. So, you know, that was just something that I
But
did.
like raising a child isn't supposed to be raised like just by mom or dad alone, because there's an equal balance kind of between both. Like the mom provides like the nurturing, all of that piece, and the dad provides like another element. So like even within raising kids, like as a single parent, like that's not the natural order of things. So the kids being raised by a single parent is not going to get everything that they're supposed to get from the mom and from the dad.
I don't know.
Did you have these? So what we was just talking about, I'm just catch you up real quick. We were just talking about, the first question was like, can men identify that there is a need to be healed? And we was kind of going through the dynamics of, can they really identify? Like me and my kids now, like we are close because they can identify. I'm like, y'all need to talk to me. Because when I seen some of their behavior and some of the things that they were doing, I knew I was a part of that initially of saying that you can't.
Right.
You can't do this, or you can't cry, or you soft if you do that. So now we have more of an open relationship that they can cry. Like I want you to cry because some of this, you know, anger and stuff that comes up sometimes. So
I have dinner with my parents once a week, and my mom and dad celebrated 40 years of marriage in December, and they got married when they were 19, 22, and I never realized how blessed I was until like in the last 10 years to have, you know, kids that growing up right here from Newton and West Broadway, and to have that a dad who was so gentle with me and my sister, even though these streets were tough, you know. And so I think that, I mean, it's imperative that we create a space that our brothers can be a balanced emotional and because that's so much of our history has taught us to suppress our feelings, and that's dehumanizing in itself. And so we can't continue to dehumanize each other by not allowing each other to feel. We won't heal.
You know what, I gotta agree with what you're saying on that because we meet with our parents. We have a family dinner every Wednesday night with our family, and they've been married 50 years now, and we're truly blessed as well. I have a son who's grown, and he's never ever wanted to cry in front of me, and I never told him that it's not. You know, I've always told him don't cry. He's one of those I won't do it, I won't do it. I'm your mom. Cry in front of me. I want you to cry in front of me. I know you have feelings. I know you feel emotions, but he got this thing of he's a man and he just refuses to cry, which then he'll go off and I'll come behind him because I am a nurturer and I'll let him know that it's okay. It's okay. You're not soft, you're not a punk, you're not a whatever. The streets tell you to be, you're not that. You have things you're doing too. So let them emotions out. I'd rather you do it with me at home, you know, than to get somewhere where you probably really shouldn't cry, but if it happens, it happens. But I voice that. I have two boys and they have the best relationship. Very, very open for me. We talk like me and my sister talk. Literally. But I think that's the best to have that kind of relationship with your children. Now, I was married for 20 years. I'm divorced, but I still have a very good relationship with my brothers. My ex, we're okay. But, you know, we get along when it comes to what the decisions need to be made.
So when we so you guys still didn't answer the question. So I know you're not married, right?
No.
And you're not married.
Not anymore.
Single.
Single, y'all. You're not married. So would you guys be able to share, being that you're single, I don't know if anybody would be open to sharing a relationship in perspective of thinking it was a part of you not being healed in a certain area, of the outcome of the relationship. I mean, because y'all some nice looking brothers and y'all educated and stuff, so we would wonder, like, you know, why you not married?
I mean, I just want to comment on what she said when she was talking about her dad. You know, and she said he was a gentle type person and things like that when it came to them. And you know, and that's what a lot of men don't understand You know, it takes a certain amount of softness to be a real man. You can't just be hard 24/7. You can't be hard with your woman. You can't be hard with your children. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you got girls. So it takes a certain amount of softness to be a real man, and I had to learn that. You know, just doing a self-evaluation, you know, of me. You know what I'm saying? In my transition, you know what I'm saying, to become what I consider as being a real man. You know, not nobody putting up a facade. You know what I'm saying? Faking to be masquerading as a man. You know, because you got men's and you got males. You know, not every male is a man.
And that was the thing that kind of initiated too. I think Tito and them had that thing.
That's not true, because the deal is, you know, people are at different stages of their growth. You know what I mean? And sometimes people don't recognize that it could be things from their past that's hindering them. So for me, you know, it's been easier for me to be a much softer type man, because softer in regards of how I deal with people, deal with women in particular, because I raised daughters. You understand what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that I didn't have areas of growth that I still needed. So I had that level of softness, but I still had other stuff that I, you know, haven't dealt with. And I don't know if it's necessarily coming from a trauma, you know, place in my life or whatever. You know, sometimes it's sometimes about maturity. You know what I mean? A lot of times, men and women, we know what it is that we do. You know what I mean? Especially if you're in a relationship, you're playing around, and you know that this is an area that, you know, your partner is not particularly fond of. You know what I mean? But we do it because we can, it's fun or whatever. You know what I mean? And we have to get to a point where we realize that those things are not beneficial, really beneficial to our life, especially if it keeps us in a situation where we're arguing and always some kind of beef and drama going on with that person, and we know they don't like that. You know what I mean? And then we know within ourselves that's something that we wouldn't particularly care for as well. You know what I mean? So I think there's degrees of maturity, but you know, it takes a penis to be a man. It takes a penis to be a man. You know, well,
To be a man.
grow into. So it takes a penis in adulthood to grow into a man. You know what I mean? There may be some qualities that may be lacking that man has not grown into, but he's still a man. So long as he exhibits man behavior, just because you're in a certain place, now you feel like you're the man, like I'm a man now. You know what I mean? He may not be there yet. Y'all could be around the same age. Could be some things that he just haven't been taught yet. You know what I mean? Or some things he was taught that was just quite different than how you were taught. So, you know, I hear what you're saying, brother, but I don't agree that it's, you know, there's certain things make you more man than another. You know what I mean? As long as you're not decided to live the other life, and I ain't got no issues with that. You know, those are things that can chip away at your manhood. You know what I mean? Because you're giving. Well, I don't know anything.
Chip away.
But you know what? This is why I said about the healing part, because I said as women, when I thought about as women, like, what can we do to offer? Yes, only 5 of us women here. But when that lady was here last week and she said 72% of African American homes were missing the father. You know what I'm like, really? Like, it's not 72% of the women that's missing from their, you know, from the household is men. And I'm like, something's
I wonder
broken.
where that number comes from, though.
I don't know, but that was a high number to me. And I know you wouldn't feel it, but I mean, like, my kids grew up with.
Is it saying men or African American men?
It's the African American men.
Okay, but you gotta understand where all that stimulates from, though. You know, as well, you gotta know the history. You know what I'm saying, of the mentality of a lot of individuals, so-called African American, so-called black males. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of these traits and behaviors are stimulated from slavery. You know what I'm saying? Why they ain't in the home? Why they got children here. And a lot of brothers don't realize and recognize that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of brothers don't like to read. And you gotta read. You know what I'm saying? Not this stuff what they teach you in school. You gotta investigate. You gotta learn, know thyself. You know, so back in the slavery days, you know, the physical slavery days, because ones are still mentally slaves now. You know what I'm saying? In these days and times. But back in the physical slavery days, you know what I'm saying, they used to take the big buck and, you know, he was just naturally cock diesel and having to go on this plantation and mate with this lady, with this sister over here, so they could have big cock diesel babies. Sort of like how you do dogs. You make this dog because you want that bloodline, you know. So that's what they used to do to us. You know what I'm saying, to our people. You know what I'm saying? And somehow, some way that didn't trickle down and got perpetuated until nowadays. And you would ask the average brother, why do you got a good woman at home? Why you cheat on her? You know, I don't know. But this what it is though. This where it extended from. You know what I'm saying?
So do you think that behaviors learned from when they were little boys and watched somebody and then they grew up? Because slavery was a really long time ago. You would have thought we would have come up from there. It's been a long time. You know what I mean?
So one of the things that I really, I'm a historian too, and so it, you know, we were, if you break down the timeline of how long Black people have been in this country, we really were enslaved 64% of the time we were in this country. Then there was then 89% of the time we were second class citizens, not considered fully human. So it's only been like 12% of the time we've been in this country that we're only one generation out of being free. Literally 51 years from being second class citizens in this country. So in reality, it hasn't been. It's like slavery as an institution, but the slavery that was a part of society, slavery, still continues. And we are only one generation, 51 years. And so it's like when we try to rush the healing, that's a part of us needing to heal. Is that it was so long ago. 51 years ago, it was unheard of. As a teacher, that was not possible for me to teach white students just 51 years ago. And so we really have to think in terms of, even though institutions ended, systems continued. At Jim Crow, these systems built and compounded upon one another. If you look at anytime you have prisons where African American men who make up a great deal of prisoners are making between 24 cents and 70 cents to do construction jobs in a prison, that's slavery. And that's happening right now across this country. So I really think that we really have to look at our timeline in real time, and then and understand so much of the healing that we need to do, we haven't done. Some of our people don't even know about slavery and the conditions of it, what really happened. And how can you heal from wounds that are in you? Because it's in our DNA. Mm-hmm. How can we not, if you haven't even, your mind will forget what your body can. And that happens even in our own trauma in our lives. And it's like, if you don't even acknowledge the wound that you have, how can you heal? Right. And that's really, a lot of us are in that place, especially when it comes to history in this country.
And that's what I want to say. If anybody wanted to, I don't know if everybody has something, but just the trauma from yourself as a man, if you can share a story that was like, or let us know that when you recognize that you need to be healed due to an outcome of a relationship. Because it'll help us better understand what we need to know instead of labeling.
I could jump in. I was married for almost 30 years and then divorced, and the healing that I didn't go through was healing from a previous love that I had, prior to that relationship, which impacted the whole relationship. Now I realize as a man right now, even just getting out of a relationship, I gotta heal myself because I don't want to hurt another person moving forward, because it's not going to do nothing but damage another person. But it's a man recognizing that I need to be healed, and then I have that impact to my emotions, to my heart, and everything like that. And until we realize that, hey, I'm a man, I got emotions, I got stuff that I got to deal with, and I don't want to hurt or injure someone, because a lot of times, we're all in society just keep moving forward, but then keep moving forward, we just keep hurting other people.
I don't know how long we're this thing comes from being don't heal, we whore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what? Y'all don't heal, y'all whore? I never heard that before.
Never heard that before?
I believe it.
I heard that a long time ago, but you know, it's part of that whole training.
I never heard that before.
After relationship, that's, you know what I mean? So we apply this whole thing, you know, suck it up, don't cry, you know what I mean? Don't spend time in this or that or whatever. So even after relationship, you know what I mean? It's started part of that psychological training. We just move on to the next. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit around and cry about her. I could be torn up on the inside. She ain't gonna see it. You know what I mean? My homeboy's not gonna see it. I'm gonna mask it. I'm gonna mask it with a new person. You know what I mean? Until that situation, from that last situation, until how I feel about that last situation has surpassed, or at least I think it has. It's just really laying dormant. You know what I mean? It's just really laying dormant. But because I don't have those strong feelings for her anymore, because I put my all into somebody new.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's the thing, and that's something. But I don't think it's only just a male thing. I think women do it too. You know what I mean? Instead of dealing with what you got going on right now, you freshly out of a relationship. You know what I mean? You want to fill that void. You used to laying next to a man at night. You know what I mean? Instead of taking time to heal, I'm used to laying to it. You know, a woman saying that's what I'm used to laying to. So get a new one. You know what I mean? But man, it's just this. It's a human thing. We all do a lot of the same things.
But I think y'all get more. I think y'all get more of the garbage for it because y'all behavior. We actually, I don't know if y'all can agree with me. Like we talk about it. We know. I mean, sometimes we know what we're doing. We can identify it, but I think it gets scary when y'all do it and don't identify that there's a problem. Like move into it.
Right. You know what I mean? We have been taught this problem.
So you didn't think it was a problem when you just moved on and you knew you weren't healed from? I mean, you honestly could say that?
Before, like when I was younger, yeah, it wasn't a problem. But as I grow and mature and realize like my impact that I have on other people, like I realize that it is a problem. And like I just made a commitment to myself, like I'm not gonna hurt no one because of my own hurt. But that's a manhood decision of realizing the impact that we have, especially on women. Like I work with a lot of women who have been through a lot of hurt, a lot of trauma, a lot of bad relationships. And I just made the choice, like I'm not going to hurt no one because of my own hurt. Like let me heal, deal with what I gotta deal with. I don't care if it takes a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Let me deal with it because I don't wanna have that impact on someone.
I know, right? So have you guys ever been to therapy or?
I do my own therapy. Hey, but look, you know,
No, let everybody answer. Have you ever been to therapy?
So I went with someone. You know what I mean?
Because they suggested that you go, or just because you went?
No, they suggested that I go. But being there at the time, it's not that I didn't realize that I could benefit. You know, like I could have been doing this a while back on my own because of some of the stuff from my own history. You know what I mean? So, I've never gone. I'm not ashamed to say it probably could benefit me as well. You know what I mean? So from some things that you think is gone, buried from childhood, up through relationships, you know, with women, up through relationships, you know, maybe friendships that you lost with some of your homeboys or something like that. Yeah, there's plenty of things that you can go and just, sometimes you just need to release it. Just get it out. You know, some certain areas you probably don't have to spend a lot of time in. But if you never dig it out, if you never unpack it, then, you know, sometimes we wonder why in the hell am I still feeling this way about this situation? Maybe because you never really talked about it. You know, never talked about it, let somebody give you perspective. Boom, you done with that. But we hold on to it. It's like trying to do the same thing. You know what I mean? Same thing, expecting to get a different result. Well, I may be doing it with a new person, so I'm thinking, hey, I'm gonna get something new. But I'm really displaying the same action. You know what I mean? Same stuff. The reality is true.
Yeah, I've been to therapy a whole lot. After my divorce, probably 8 months, and it was just, I knew that I needed to figure out like what it is within me, and I knew that I couldn't figure that on my own. Even after like my last relationship, yeah, I've been to therapy, like figuring out, because same thing, like I don't want to hurt no one, so I got to figure out like what's going on inside of me, and the women that I choose, the choices that I make, like I got to figure that out.
So you're your own therapist. Why do you choose to be your own therapist?
because who know me better than me? You know, it's just about putting a mirror in your own face and recognizing your own weaknesses and being able to accept them. You know, a lot of people don't like to put that mirror in their face because they don't like what they might see. But you know, you got to confront that in order to start the healing process. You know, you got to know thyself. You know.
So can I ask you guys a question? So why you single? You single? So why are you single?
I'm single because
You choose to be.
I choose to be,
You don't even come hard like
but this what it is. You know, in the past, you know, I did a lot of running around and things like that, and you know, I was more collective than selective. You know, so now that I'm more mature, that I'm older, what? Sowing your oats, whatever, just hitting and missing. I mean, you know, whatever. You know, that type of thing. You know? But you know, I was that way. Basically Wiz, whatever label you want to put on it. You know. But now that I'm more older now, and I done studied my sisters, and I done read in the history of everything that the sister been through and still going through. And you know, and how even back then, you know, how it was always the sister that had our back. It was the sister that always clothed us and fed us, you know what I'm saying? And made sure we was all right as a nation of men, as a nation of people. You know what I'm saying? So I started looking at sisters different, you know what I'm saying? I started, you know, valuing the sisters as well as valuing myself. You know, being out here reckless, you ain't put no value on yourself, you ain't put no value on your life or nobody you encounter. So, you know, once I started being in my transition, I feel like that lifestyle is not what I want no more. I want a queen, you know what I'm saying? So instead of me being collective, I'm more selective now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm picky. I ain't saying I'm all that. I'm big fat bald head, whatever. But I like a certain type of woman now because I don't want the, and I ain't trying to put no what people might call a dot, but I understand why she might be that way. You know what I'm saying? You know, we call them that, we call them whatever. The same names y'all call us, we call y'all. You know, and things like this, but I'm more understanding to why you like that. And it is all because of us, men. You know what I'm saying? Not being there. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. Let me explain this. Man, because, you know what I'm saying? Our women is a reflection of us, fam. You understand me? So when us men is out here jumping from house to household, being a rolling stone, wherever you lay your head at is your home. And while we doing this, we leaving these sisters out here to fend for themselves. So how we gonna judge this sister on the strip pole, trying to make some money to feed your children?
Okay.
Cause you ain't there. Cause we weren't man enough to be there.
Say that.
How we
Keep it
gonna
real.
judge
Keep it real.
this woman for doing what she's doing to get money to, you know what I'm saying? Because we want, not saying you personally, you know what I'm saying, but in general, you know what I'm saying. As a whole, us men ain't been there for our women's man. And you can always tell the nation of people by the way we treat our women. We treat our women worse than any other nation of people here around here, man.
So, you know, if that applied to every single woman situation, then there'd be no area of dispute. The deal is that does not apply to every. And I'm not picking on men, women, anybody. But the reality is this: not every woman that has whatever her issues are, you know, sway bad behavior, promiscuity on the pole, whatever. Every situation wasn't done wrong by a man. You know, what I find hard to take in is that every time you see a woman treating a man bad or treating her kids bad or whatever the deal is, it's because she's been hurt by a man. That to me, I equate that almost kind of like you saying, well, women come into the world perfect, men come into the world bad. And a woman is bad, a woman is good until she deals with a man. You know what I mean? We all come in with our own will. There's women, girls, you know what I mean? They were raised by wicked mothers, you know what I mean? That taught them to be the way that they are. I used to date a girl, okay? Date a girl. She loved her father. I'm talking about her dad was there for her all throughout until he passed. You know what I mean? Great dad, took care of the family, was not the type of dude that cheated on his wife or whatever. She had a perfect example growing up, okay? But her mother was the problem. Her mother taught her, take his money. You know what I mean? Make him take you out to eat for dinner. One time she wanted to go out for dinner to Ruth Chris, just so she could put it on Facebook and show her friends, we out here, blah, blah, blah. We out here, that kind of nonsense. But I said to her, I'm not willing to do that. What I will do, though, I'll take you to the grocery store, and I'll make sure you and your daughter got enough groceries for a couple weeks.
Right.
She didn't want that. She called me cheap. I said, well, I probably would spend more at the grocery store, but that's not what she wanted. You know what I mean? She wanted to be able to go to Ruth Chris, take the pictures, and put it on Facebook. This is a woman that was always having her negative mama in her ear. So it's not always the case that a woman that is bad or that has gone bad, she's that way because of a man. We all are human. We all come in with a clean slate. You know what I mean? And depending on the experiences or the environments that we grow up in, we can choose, we end up going one way or another. And it's not always that brother that makes that sister bad. That's what society pumps out here. So we always thinking that we got a woman that talks slick to a man. Oh, she's been done wrong by a brother.
That's because y'all not speaking up, though.
We not
So we
speaking.
need
I
to
am
know where
speaking
y'all
up.
broken at because that's the whole thing about it. Because y'all not speaking up, y'all actions are like overruling. So therefore, if a person does say it or a person does do it, it seems like our stuff is more credible.
But y'all
you're
gotta
not
be
saying
real.
like,
Women gotta be honest too. It don't have to be so. What I see a lot of times is a lot of women just jump in a situation. Yeah, girl. No, she had a good brother. No, she had a good brother, but she didn't talk about how bad she talked to that brother. She didn't talk about how she emasculated or attempted to, I should say, in the presence of her friends, his friends, family, or whatever. She didn't talk about that. She didn't talk about how she kept his kids away from him. She didn't talk about none of that.
But what is the percentage of what you're saying?
I don't know the percentage, but it
But
happens.
do you think it's more men that are being like that than women? I
So-
think you're trying to say it's both can do it.
Right, but see, here, this is my case. I'm not trying to compare numbers here. What I'm saying is these things happen. And until we are real about it happening, until we're real about these things happening, it will continue to happen. Okay? So we can't put every situation on a man. There are women that are taught bad by their mother. Their bad examples are their
True,
mothers.
true,
But because she's bad, we always say, your brother did you wrong.
That's what these 80, these
I don't
babies
know.
having
do
babies.
you have something to say?
I got a lot of thoughts. I don't.
Be aggressive, jump in.
No, I'm not clear on what I want to say about all this.
But you said the negative mother, so you think the negative mother got it from her experiences?
I don't know where she got it from.
Because I feel that a woman is negative because she's brought to that point.
And a
Of
man
being
a
negative.
man is negative until he's brought to the point where you think it's just natural for us. We're raised and we're just negative. We're just bad people. Come on now. But see, how in the world can you be part of this conversation and say, you know what, we're gonna talk about healing men, still having that idea?
I just asked you a question.
No, but
from the negative point, so when you say how can I be a part of this conversation, let's be clear. I asked you a question about why do you think the woman was that way?
I don't know what it is in her history, but it don't always have to be.
Well, you
from-
brought it up, so with you bringing it up, I would assume that you would have had more information on this woman.
Well, we
that you
don't
would
have
bring
more
up her-
information on the man that we talk
No,
about. We
that's
just
why
make
I'm
an
asking
assumption that
you.
it's
That's
based
why
on
I'm asking you. What would make that woman come to that point?
the same
that
thing.
was my question.
Some of the same things that make a man come to that point. The fact that we're human and we're fallible and we're accepted. Huh?
Are you
Things
listening to
happen.
what I'm saying? Like, I'm not asking you about a man. I'm asking you, why would you bring up that woman and her negativity?
Because I'm tired of everything being put on a man. That's the reason why when I see situations, I gave you an example of a situation, and that's just my one. You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody else has seen that, but I know for sure that some of us got some woman in our path, our friendships, our relatives or something that had a brother, a father that was good to him, had a man that treated him decent, but she did another brother wrong. I'm sure y'all see
It
it.
does happen. It does. We're not saying that it doesn't.
Well,
I
how
agree.
come we never talk about those things though? Why do we only and
Because the
often
majority
talk?
of the occasions and the people that we hang around, it's usually the opposite.
Okay, but even if that's the majority, be willing to pluck out your situation. Be like, you know what? It's not always on the brothers. We can easily lean on the men. We the biggest.
But the men gotta be there to lean on. If they're leaving the women all the time, who are you gonna lean on?
Okay, so I'm gonna put myself out there. I have had relationships that I possibly was a good man, and I wasn't to the fullness of what a woman probably should have been because of some things that my mom did teach me, or because of some things that I experienced growing up or whatever. So I do believe that is true, and it's very rare. Well, I think what we're trying to say is that it's very rare to have men like you that will be like, oh, I got done like this. Because, like I said, in our culture and our people that we hang around with, a majority, a huge percentage is always about a man doing a woman wrong. You know what I mean? So I want to be fair because it does happen because I've done it. You know, but that's what we want. Like we want to hear you say that because men don't say that. What man will be like, oh, I got played at Ruth and Chris? Men don't say that because they want to have it again, that unhealed part of being a macho man. They're not gonna say that they got played by a woman, but they will make it seem like it was something different.
I think if a woman is that way and she's been taught by her mother's just trying to protect her, to bring her up to be cautious of men, be cautious of people in general. That's the reason why I asked you, what was the history to this woman? Was it that her mother taught her to be protective? Did she teach her to be aggressive towards men? I mean, what was the purpose behind? Because I can see where like I said in statements before, I've had all women. I have all aunts on my mom's side. I have all men on my daddy's side. I hear it from both sides. Women saying, hey, look out for men who did. I hear it from the men saying, look out for women who did. I get it from both sides. So when I hear a woman saying something, I think it's more of a protection. I don't think she's telling you to be negative to a man, to downplay a man, or to talk bad to a man. I think she's more or less
Get his money. And that's why I said I'm gonna tell the truth about that.
There's
Get
nothing
his money.
positive about a woman telling her daughter get his money.
I'm not saying that. I never said that. That never came out of my mouth. What I'm saying is when
I know you
women
didn't say that, but you said you think she's teaching her to be a protector, and I'm saying
to be cautious.
Because
I'm saying
get his money,
cautious.
that's being cautious?
I'm not saying get his money. You're putting words into my
I know,
mouth.
but
we're
I'm
not
not
bringing
saying
away legal
cautious.
But we're talking about what?
But I'm saying from my point of view, when the women are saying it to us,
Here's the
my
thing.
point of view of it.
Like, we all have certain values, traditions, customs that we're raised with, that we're embedded with, like ever from our childhood. And sometimes when getting into relationships, we don't have that conversation. These are my values. This is what I was raised with. This is the mindset that I had. And having that conversation with the woman of, these are my values, my mindsets, these are the things that I'm raised with. And having a conversation and figuring out what's congruent, what's not congruent. Because like, my mom, single mom, raised me with so much. The woman that I was with had her mom and her dad. But our values and things that we were raised with growing up are completely different. And we never had that conversation. It was an attraction thing. We never had the conversation of, this is what I value. I value stability, I value maturity, I value moving forward, I value like moving on with your life. And it's incongruent until we have those conversations and realizing, like, I think as men, the values that we have, that we were raised with, and having the conversations with the things that we're around, and being able to, like, okay, this is what it is, how can we come together? And if it don't come together, it don't come together.
I'll say this too. Back in 2011, I had lost my brother's somebody. And I was seeing someone, and I was living in D.C. at the time. And he's a wonderful guy. But because I was so hurt behind the loss of my brother, I treated him like a dog. Like, I was hurting so bad. And it was like, I had to come back after a decade and really apologize because I wounded him. And so it's like, I'm not gonna front. I have a lot of male friends, and there's a lot of sisters out there, like, that are, our brother's like a dog. This is really like a dog. So I do hear I hear a lot from men who are being authentic and genuine. Like, I gave this, I put this forward, and there's some women out here that are reckless. And so I think that there is a truth to that. And from my own experience, and when I'm seeing brothers in our community who are trying to heal, who express those situations. So it is real. I mean, you know.
So, in saying that, so the main thing was, we said it's a state of emergency. If you fellas, because we have you guys here, I think it's right now is the time for you guys to really express and say, what do you need from us? We all want to get to this one position, this one place. And because we cannot hear, because of the actions are so negative and so brutal and so terrible, we need to hear, because then maybe so we can find a place, because we're nurturers, as we said, we're more soft. Like, what can we offer to our men instead of putting y'all in this box? Y'all don't want to be put in this box. Probably we would say the 3% because it's 3 of y'all right now. But it's like, when we leave out this door, there's so many broken men that's doing so many things to damage us mentally, to damage us physically, to just damage us, period, to the point that we don't want to deal with no brothers. So if we get this opportunity to say, hey, look, I messed up, we gon' forgive. Forgiveness is the ultimate thing. But what do we need to hear from you guys to help somebody that's out there that's watching? Somebody that probably want to get to that position when you say you was collective and selective, like you had to get to that point. I don't know what got you to that point, but the collective part, I know that you broke about a whole bunch of people's heart and you hurt them. But when you decided to get it together, you not understanding that you left a whole entourage of damaged women. So at this point, when you're moving forward, what can we do to make sure that you stay in the selective part and not the collective part? For you to be like you gotta heal and figure out yourself. The women that you damaged, that you left behind, we have put labels on all that bull crap. And we're broken and we're hurt and we don't know how to figure it out. Not because, and then another thing everybody put, oh, we got low self-esteem. Oh, we need, no, it's not that. We don't know how to deal with it because all that we know is that we gave 100%. But because you were broken, you made us 2% to feel a certain type of way. And initially we were just trying to be that woman that was going to feed you, that woman that was going to stand up by you, that, you know, all that. But due to the circumstance, we turned out in a different type of way. So, in saying that, we want to know, while you're in your selective part, what can we do to keep you into that part? What would you like to come home to? What's some things that you would like to see in a woman? You know, instead of saying we thoughts or we broken or we this, what could you say that would make that woman that queen to be that person that you're looking forward to? So we can help y'all. Because y'all, I don't care how, 1% of Tito, it looks good, it's good that he said that. But like I said, when we leave out here, reality hits. And we got fatherless children. We have abusive relationships. We have physically abusive relationships. We have mental abusive relationships. We have women that is on the pole because they've been molested by a man. They don't understand. We have women that like women, men that like men, not because of choice, because of things that happen in their life. So what we want is a state of emergency. Y'all need to start speaking up. And y'all need to let us know what can we do to collectively help in this position to get to greater numbers, greater love stories, and better positions. So that's all I'm saying.
I mean, like right now in these times of days, you know, it's a lot of uncompassionate people. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of like nothing is real. You know what I'm saying? You know, and the Bible speak up on that. You know, people is lovers of money more than lovers of God. They love money more than anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got people out here kidnapping people, selling their organs for money. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. You know, but for me, you know, what would I like my queen to be? I would just like for her to be just her natural self, her real self. You know what I'm saying? In the ask instead of insinuating. You know, like we're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Ask, man, baby, when you do this, what's going on with you? When you know, because, you know, I was in a relationship a while ago, and it was an abusive relationship. You know, and when I say that, people like, man, you was abusing No, she was the one that was a bruiser. You know what I'm saying? She was a bruiser. How? Physically abusive. Physically. That's how. Physically, verbally, mentally, emotionally. This what she was. You know what I'm saying? And things like that. And I dealt with that for as long as I could. Then I dipped out. You know? And for a long time, I never knew why I couldn't just stay in a relationship. You know, until I met this one girl who I really, really liked, you know, and I just was like, man, I gotta be independent, I gotta be self-sufficient, I gotta have my own. Cause I'll never let another woman say, well, you know what you can do then. You can hit the doors, you can get out, winter time, snow up the hill. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna happen to me no more. So, you know, I had unresolved issues from dealing with this woman. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't know until I runs into this lady and she asked. And even though she asked, I still wasn't man enough to really just tell her what was going on with me. You know? I just played the role, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
What did she ask? You said she asked.
She asked me. She was like, "Is there anything from your past that's stopping you?" Because it was some things like every time we got like I love this woman, and every time you know we just started getting more and more in love, I started going further and further back. You know.
So do you think it was a trust thing? Do you think
it was all that, but it extended from that. This one girl.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
It extended from that. It was trust. It was all that.
There's a lot of times, and I ain't cutting out. I just want to for a quick second. A lot of times, man, we hold certain things in, hold certain things back for women because of how we've been talked about. You know what I mean? In society and from within relationships. You know what I mean? A lot of times, women call us punks or always want to question or attach things to our men. You know what I mean? So sometimes we like, hold on a minute, I'm not going to be so open with her about how I feel or what I think. You know what I mean? I'm not going to tell her because one, I don't want to hear these things that I've heard before. You know what I mean? So it's a societal thing and it's within some of the relationships that we encounter.
And my thing is like, as black men in Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota, we have it way too tough. Like, I'm in a position of leadership, all the stuff that I got to deal with at my job every day. I don't want to have to come home and deal with additional stress. My thing for a woman is like, make life more comfortable. Like, a man, I think about a man and a woman have a kid. A man plants a seed and then that seed goes inside the woman and that seed grows. For one, a man needs to be able to plant a good seed, and the woman need to be able to grow that seed with the man in support. So like if I'm planting a seed, like I don't want that seed to just grow and die. Like the seed is like whatever for me, whatever it is that my woman wants to do, I'm gonna make it happen. You want to go to the moon, I will find every resource to get you to the moon. I'll find someone to make the spaceship and everything. But if you don't take the astronaut class, you don't want to go to the moon. My thing is like take the astronaut class to be able to go to the moon. Like for real. My thing is about growing, cultivating, motivating people. And like for me and while I'm single, like I need a woman that can be able to take that seed that's implanted of things that she said that she wanted to do and make it move forward. Like as men, like that should be our job, is to like provide the resource, help her move forward. If we ain't doing that, we ain't doing our part. But at the same time, the woman needs to be able to do her part to be able to move forward.
We need respect.
So here's my question. Do you guys have white children?
No, I got 4 girls.
No kids. I do. That was something.
So did you raise your kids the same way that you think? Or did this thinking and knowledge come with age?
Okay. So I didn't raise them. I didn't know my son's 27. I just met him for the first time when I was 18. I didn't know he was there. But I did raise, I have a 19-year-old daughter, 18-year-old daughter, and a 12-year-old daughter. So, of course, I raised them with the knowledge that I had at that time and going throughout, you know what I mean? Because as I aged, I learned and understood things different. So certainly, you know what I mean? Yep. But men need respect. Yep. Respect.
It is respect as well.
There's, you know, so you know, a lot of times women don't understand how deeply you can cut a man with your mouth. You know what I mean? It's like, you don't always have to say what you think. And when you learn to stop saying always what you think, at some point you'll start to think things different. You know what I mean? But I think in a lot of cases, I can't put a blanket on all women. But I know what a lot of sisters, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, but it is the reality. A lot of sisters, their weapon is their mouth. And a lot of times you don't even, it's not even necessary to use it, because a lot of times once it gets going, all sorts of stuff flies out. You know what I mean? You cut a man pretty deep. And a lot of times y'all think that we should deal with that. Take what it is that you say and deal with it. You're a man. You're a man, aren't you? You know what I mean? So you talking stuff to us and then you attaching it to our manhood.
So respect is earned as well, right?
Respect is earned, absolutely. It's mutual, but you know, that is the word she used, that is our love language. Respect for me is first and foremost.
How do you even get to a point to be disrespectful? That's why I think we always like, you just don't wake up and just be like, mother,
I think
you
a lot
sorry.
So I think a lot
You
of
know what
that
I mean?
stuff,
You just don't wake
that's one of
up
those,
like that.
let me tell you, that's one of those things that was part of the conversation we was having earlier that's passed down from a woman. The smart mouth, because it's the truth. It is the truth. It is an absolute truth. I've dealt with women with smart mouth. I met her mom. I hear exactly what
Look, I need
she's
deliverance.
I'll say.
Anybody doing respect, deliverance from your mom?
And you know what? I'm one of these type of guys so easy going. It don't take much. You know, it really don't take much to make me happy, because my mom taught me how to take care of everything. I can iron my clothes, I can sew buttons on clothes, I can cook, I can clean, take care of my household. You know what I mean? I can do all of those things. I don't need for a woman to come in and take care of me. So what you can add to me respect. You know what I mean? And if we're in a marital situation or boyfriend, girlfriend, we're living together, moving towards that, respect me, cook for me a couple times a week, you know what I mean? And love my children. Anything else, once those things are covered, then, I mean, what wouldn't I give you? You know what I mean? Respect me. Respect me as a man, because there's no such thing as let me be a man. You know what I mean? My mom, my father, God already took care of that part. You know what I mean? So I am a man. Respect the man that you have in your presence. If you don't, I can't stick around.
But sometimes we don't talk about what that respect means, because like with my ex,
I just put it out there.
I know, but sometimes we don't have them conversations. For me, my respect is like, if you got any ties to any exes, like, you know, cut all of that off and dead end.
Right,
And
absolutely.
she didn't get that. So having those conversations,
But I
like,
bet you she would have understood that if you had connections to your ex,
not really.
she would, then y'all didn't respect each other. Then
Right.
both of you.
But having them conversations and being like, as men, sometimes I think we're taught like not to have them conversations about relationships, about values, about things that we respect. And I think as men, like it's up to us to like lead the relationship and be able to have the conversations, but up to the woman to be able to open to have the conversation as well.
And be willing to understand. I think a lot of times women see respect like, if I respect him, I'm submitting to him. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with submitting to a man, but respect should be before, you know, I don't need you to be docile, you know what I mean? I don't need for you to, whatever you say, hop on one foot, bark like a dog. I don't need all of that. You know what I mean? Seriously, I don't need all of that. You know, I don't. Respect me. Don't curse me out. I don't want to hear it. Don't call me no bitch. You know what I mean? Don't call me a fuck boy. None of that. My name is Tito. If you need something else, put a mister. If you just need something else, you can come up with a pet name, but bitch is not gonna be one of them. And you're not gonna treat me like that either. You know what I mean? But I think that's where a lot of, and I'm sorry, I'm a man. I date women. I think that's where a lot of women go wrong in dealing with their men. Is that smart mouth? You gotta learn when to shut up.
I'm gonna just ask you guys a question. So do you think that this is why a lot of black men date outside the black woman?
I've heard
I'm
that.
just asking.
I don't know.
I mean, everyone has their own preference. I'm just curious because I hear black men say that all the time. We talk too much. So I'm just curious. Do you guys think that that's why they date outside the race so much?
I just heard it.
I've dated like 3 black men who told me that before they met me, they were never gonna date another black woman. Like that they were gonna date white men, and like they never met. I don't know. I think there's some truth in that. It's like I think there's some truth in that, and one of the reasons I know, speaking for myself, the reason why I'm so cautious about when you speak to people because I think there's power in words. Like I think it's life and death. And growing up in the house that I did, and I'm not gonna lie, my mom talked greasy to my dad. Like, and I sat and watched him pray with her. Like she could be flipping out, and he would start praying with her, and I was just looking like you was cray cray. And I mean, over the years, she's gotten better. That doesn't happen anymore. But growing up, seeing that and seeing how my dad responded to her, it was just like I would feel sorry for her. And then witnessing my sister and her husband, and my sister does the same thing to her husband. And it's like I never want to be like that. I never want to cut the person I'm supposed to love down with my words. And just because I know how powerful they are. And so yeah.
Like, I don't know, because I made the choice not to date outside my race. Like, I believe black love is such a beautiful thing. But like, I hear that from like a lot of dudes, but at the same time, like, I realize a woman is a woman at the end of the day. Like, men hurt women sometimes with the way that we act, and the only way that she can get back and cut is with her mouth. So like, I'm accepting that.
And then when they say cut, because I used to be a Virgo, so I would like go toe to toe, because it was that thing like you hurt me, so all thing I can do is that, but it will be like truth. But I guess it's the way it's presented.
Right.
Somebody used to say you used to catch more flies with bees with honey or something. But it was like it's to that point when you would just say it. And I was like, where I came from, it wasn't like the it was just like you said it and it was all love and you just moved. Again, that was my tradition of it. You said it, you still love the person, it was raw and uncut. So when I hear men say that about women, like how the presentation of it, but it's the same thing. I guess you have to understand how to present it to like you said, to the person instead of being like rough with it.
I mean, with me, man, with this interracial dating stuff, man, I just, for a dude to use that as an excuse to go outside your race, and I just feel like we dudes like weak women. I don't like no weak woman. I like a strong woman. I like a woman with a little spice in her that talk a little stuff every now and again. I like that because I talk stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't like no meek, weak, scary. I don't like no woman like that. I like a strong woman. I like a strong sister.
Now, I'll be honest, my mouth gets slick, but it only gets slick when I'm just trying to help better my man. It isn't that I'm putting him down because I don't say it, I don't get slick in that way. I just say things that I think would be helpful for the both of us, that would be helpful for him. Now, if he takes it, that's fine. If he doesn't, that's fine. But I don't say it in a way to where it's demeaning or hurtful. Well, if I see him doing something, I might say, hey, babe, you might want to try it this way instead of doing it that way, because I've seen it work for me, or another situation, I might have seen it work that way versus the way you're doing it. Now, if he chooses, well, men tend to think that when black women seem to say things, we're saying it in a demeaningful way. We're putting them down.
In front of a whole crowd of people like, hey, no, don't do it like this. I mean, but if you put them to a side and say, look, hey, maybe you should try it like this. It's different. But if you're in front of your sisters and your homegirls and everybody, look, don't do that. Then I tell you not to.
You got something to say. Do you want to say something? I know, we've been waiting on you because you just shifting and looking and rolling eyes. Come on.
I mean, I don't know. I grew up with a single mom. She taught me to be real independent. My black father was absent. I got all kinds of baggage around, the independence thing was good, but then it would cause me problems in my marriage because my husband thought I didn't need him. I've been separated for a long time. And I think, I keep like, listen, this is what I want. This is what, I want somebody who's funny. I want somebody who laughs at my jokes. I want somebody who, I'm not nobody's maid, I ain't your mama. I want a grown ass man, right? And law abiding. I had to add that to my list. My friend Roxanne, like,
I didn't
make sure you add that to your list. Right? But then I was talking to somebody the other day about how I felt. What I would do differently, which was to, it was amazing when how I got separated. I wasn't so hard on him anymore. I didn't feel as big of a stake in changing his behavior or my ex. So where I was like, I gotta figure out how to still get what I need, but not be so, not to have high standards, but to have a, not an unattainable standard, and to be like hard on somebody about every little thing that irritates me, which is I think where I would try to do differently.
To answer about the white women and brothers using that as out, I don't know. I can't speak to that. I guess people make their choices for whatever reason. If that's what a brother's saying, if he's used to dating sisters that talk slick to him, you know, all kind of stuff, and he's met Becky or Patty or whatever that does not speak to him like that, if he ends up feeling that that's a better fit for him, then so be it. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna take that route. You know what I mean? Equally so, I don't wanna just settle for something that I know for sure is always gonna be a problem for me. And like my man said here, I don't mind a woman talking slick. You know what I mean? There's boundaries. You know what I mean? There's talking slick, and then there's over to the border disrespect, and that's where I have a problem. You know, because I'm not gonna disrespect you. I don't call women bitches. I don't call you out of your name at all. You know what I mean? If your name is Siobhan, that's what I'm gonna call you. Whether we're just finished making love or whether we ready to battle over whatever the deal is, her name is still Siobhan. You understand what I'm saying? Doesn't matter how I feel. Doesn't matter at which level I'm upset with her. It's still Siobhan.
So in my opinion, I guess we got to be wrapping up. So I guess we could just briefly all just say what as my vow to my brothers is to, because I'm single too. And I just think that like I will be, because of experience and being single and all that stuff, like I think in the next relationship for me to be vulnerable, to allow him to be vulnerable, and to be able to say what it is without the judgment, and to understand. I mean, because at first it'll probably be like, it'll hit you like, oh, like, you know, if it gets too deep. I think it'll hit you, but I just want to be to that place. I want God to get me to that place where I can understand them so they can be able to speak about it. So then, therefore, I won't put another label. I don't want to do that to another black man, just put a label on him because of him not being healed or him not understanding his own journey and his own process. So like you said, when you found out, like, you know, I need to do this better with your separation because I've been separated from some things as well because I didn't know. But I do want to be in the next phase of my life. I want to be vulnerable to understand that. I want to listen to my brothers. I want to understand what's going on in spite of what it looks like. Because we don't understand, because we've been through so much and we see it on social media. We have so many people saying it. Like I want to reposition myself in that position to understand. Like I want to listen, and I want to, and I want to understand because I want to know. Because it's two kids in the same household. My trauma and my things that happened to me does not make it different from him. He just haven't had a voice to say it, and I have. So that's the part that. In this state of emergency, I just think that whoever is watching, if it's female watching, to kind of contemplate on that so we can be an attribute to our brothers instead of being the part of the negativity as far as everything else they fighting and battling today. So that's, in my opinion, that's what I want to do in my second phase.
Like for me, for the woman, it's realizing that, like as a man, like I have hurt and stuff that I've been through, and I want to be able to be open to share that with the person that I'm with and not be judged by it and not be seen as weak, and being able to have that openness that like, hey, like, I've been through issues, I've been through trauma, I've been through hurt, but that doesn't make me less than, if you know what I mean.
I couldn't second that. I mean, respect. I second what he said. You absolutely respect me. I'm definitely gonna respect you. You know what I mean? I come in the door, not like I'm gonna withhold respect, like get respect. I'm gonna be respectful because that's why I was raised. That's what I was talking about. My mom taught me to be. You know, but certainly so. If I'm gonna have a successful relationship, one of those tenets has to be, you know, I gotta be able to trust that I can say certain things. I gotta be able to trust that I can say things to you, and your girlfriends ain't gonna be looking at me, you know what I mean, upside my head like I'm crazy, because I think that's a major problem in relationships as well. Women tend to have too many people that they're talking to. You know what I mean? It's okay. Everybody deserves to have an outlet. You know what I mean? But I think sometimes women get so caught up in their feelings or their thoughts or ideas or emotions or whatever it is that anybody that got some time gets an exclusive. You know what I mean? And that just doesn't make any sense. It makes absolutely no sense. You don't know this person, what they're dealing with. You don't know where they come from. You don't know their experiences.
And they ain't gonna tell you. Right. But you're sharing. Your relationship matters with people that could really care less. They could be upset or vented about something and be like, yeah, you know what, I dealt with the same thing, blah, 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 blah. And there y'all go, y'all exchanging, you know, situations. And I don't know if I told you last time, you know, but this is an old African proverb. It's called that the house don't sell you, the streets can't buy you. Meaning, don't put your house business in the streets. You know what I mean? Because people love cheap information. You know what I mean? They'll spread it around like crazy. And I think if women were to understand that and adhere to that, then I think some of the things that we come up with, some of the things that y'all come up with in your relationships wouldn't, because you ain't trying with LaQuanda told you. Right. You ain't trying what Patricia told you. You know what I mean? All these people that told you all these different things to do, and you wonder why shit is a mess. You know what I mean? Instead of you listening within, or maybe going to talk to your mom or your grandma, or somebody that has exhibited a successful relationship. You listen to her, and then him that act like he's a hater. You know what I mean? You just can't do that.
I'm not gonna front. I love my brothers. I love West African, I love East African, I love African American. I just love my brothers. And not just on a romantic level, but as a sister in this community. And so I'm not gonna front. I'm just gonna continue to actively support brothers and encourage them, and if be that with the businesses they have or just being a listening ear if they need one, and really being intentional about speaking life to people, because the same way that we got so much going on in this community, around the country, and so we really don't have, we're not in the position to destroy one another. Like, that's just not gonna work for us, and so I try to be a healer, and that's what I'm gonna continue to do.
There's something when the gentleman here was speaking, he said, there's something that brought you to that point. And when he speaks, I hear his sincerity, his realness, his genuineness. And I believe it's coming from a place that something happened that made him stop that type of behavior and realize, do some type of self-evaluation. I've worked in the community, I've worked in facilities, I've worked volunteering, social services, helping individuals who've been incarcerated and hurt, men and women. I worked at an all-male facility, so I hear a lot of things. So for him to
the things that he's saying, open up and say the things that he's saying. I know it's coming from a place to where something happened in my life where I evaluated something and said something had to change. And even myself, as a woman, I came to that point too. Something had to change because of previous things that were happening prior that was just recycling. So I think that when we self-evaluate ourselves, because it first starts with us. I am married, I have a husband, I don't have friends, and it's by choice. Because of the reason that I learned that once you be with yourself and you come into a union with someone, all those past things that you have experienced and caused a lot of disturbances and bad relationships, you have to get with that individual because that's the person. The husband, the man I married, that's my husband. So if I want to come and talk to mend those things like you said, I want to come be able to talk to my husband and say, this is what has happened to me. This is what has happened. So if I'm going to this person, that person, this person, feeding and getting all that negative information, then I'm going to go about what? But if I go and sit in myself and evaluate those things, sit with my husband, and you share, I share, then we work together. Then things, they, work out that way because it's true. Women go through things, men go through things. But, you have to work together, and I just think self-evaluation is very important. And keeping your circle small and eliminating, negative energy and just supporting each other. And Juanita Bynum said something, I was listening to a video, and she said that, and the thing with women in their mouths, another thing. I think it's important to know boundaries. Women, at times, I'm a woman, is to know, and I was raised by my grandparents' old school way. So at times, we can talk and speak and know when we're in certain settings, how to speak. But then once we go home, we gotta know what home is. Once we talk with someone, we gotta know what socializing is, we gotta know what friends are, we gotta know who to, at which level, who to expose or say certain things to, and also be attentive and be discerning and have some type of intuition and not just say any and everything. Because sometimes we think we're saying something to uplift and we're hurting our brother. We're hurting our sister. So just, self-realization. But at the bottom line, respect. I agree with that. Respect at all times. No matter what the man has done, you sort that out. If we hear about, okay, you sit, and not to say, oh, it's all right to be submissive. This is my husband. I'm going to make sure that the respect is there at all times. So if it's something that's going on, then you pull that brother aside when you get home in a respectful way. So I just think women and their mouths, as you call it, there should be boundaries with that. You should know how far to take it, which not how far to take it, when to talk and when not to talk. And know when to protect what is yours. Because like you said, there are people outside, because it's happened to me, they will come and tell you something, knowing your man is good. You got a good one. Then she'll come and tell you, he'll come and tell you, you know what, he ain't this and he ain't that. You go on with your girl, and you end up, guess what? By yourself. Right. And guess what? Go check their house out. They all cuddled up. They eating dinner together and they doing all that because of something that. So it's it's very imperative that we pay attention to those things. Just knowing boundaries as women, when to say something, and always at all times. I agree with that so much. Respect your man, respect your husband, and have boundaries with your mouth, your conversation, your movements. So that's how I think.
Michelle, what do you want from us?
I mean, I can't say nothing that haven't been said already. Respect. I mean, that's bottom line. I want my respect with a K on it. Respect. I gotta have mine because I'm gonna give it to you. You know what I'm saying? I just want a woman that's, positive, that's natural. Being who she is, man. You ain't gotta front, you ain't gotta just be you. I'm not, and realize that I'm with you, that I'm not against you. You know what I'm saying? Know that, Other than that, man, that's probably you being selective, man. So I won't end up with a woman with a mouth like that, and that's what dating and all that. and everything like that for to fill them out to see how they really is. You know, so once they reveal themselves, that's who they is. So okay, have a nice day. You know, I'm not looking for nothing like a long laundry list of things from a woman. You know, respect, loyalty, compassion. That's it.
I think simplicity is powerful.
I got
simplicity is powerful.
but we got two. So Robert Barnes said, "Don't give up on us, and know that we already have the world on our shoulders every day. We leave the house every day, not knowing that we will return. Be our peace." And then we got Miss Angela. She said, "So I have a question. Where are these single, respectable men?" Here go two of them right here. Two. 2.5. We got 2.5.
I think after today's conversation, I find that I do lack in some areas. So I'm just gonna try my best to let you guys offer what knowledge I do have. I'm a work in progress.
We all are every day.
That was so sweet.
Anybody that know me knows that I'm already very supportive. They already know how my attitude, my demeanor is. They know I'm not disrespectful. So the people that know me know how I am. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm just glad you men are here. I respect everybody's opinion, and it was very good. I appreciate it.
Very informational.
All right, so y'all, I appreciate you guys coming. I didn't even know you and your sister was coming, but I'm glad that you're here.
Well, yeah, I saw the live, and I just saw you were down the street, the street, and he didn't see me. So when I saw you, I couldn't walk out. You were down there,
Yeah.
and I was down there too, but we didn't speak.
Oh, I just want to say my book right here,
All right now.
Concrete Thoughts, a collection of urban poetry. You know, it's out, it's been out, you know what I'm saying? Amazon, wherever, you can order it from anywhere, you know.
So,
That's it.
yeah, all right.
Look,
That's the
it's-
plug. Y'all get that
it's-
book. Support our brother. He got his book.
And support the brother.
So what's the website that they can go? What website where they can order it from, or they have to get it from you?
Amazon, you can Google it, whatever.
Okay.
You know.
So,
Concrete Thoughts, a collection of urban poetry. My name is LaShawn Nix Bay.
he's a baby. So, y'all go to www.4opinionswiththefour.com. We missing Ebony tonight. We got a little helper tonight, Ariana. Say hi. But yeah, tonight was very touching to us. If you guys have any comments that you want us to answer, if you have any topics that you want to talk about, feel free to inbox us and let us know. Thank you, Tito, again for the Situation Room.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Dre. Thank you, LaShawn. I think this was a lot of information. So, see y'all next Thursday at 7 o'clock. Stay tuned. And thank you. Bye.
You guys have a good night.
Good night. That was cool, wasn't it?
Very informational. I love it.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
I couldn't move. I was like,
Next time, have snacks.
that's what I said.
Tito, let me get my hand.
I said, Tito, where the snacks at?
Give me a hug.
Can you come out? Don't make sure you save it before you share it.
Thank you, hon.
Mine just went out.
Tito didn't buy the snacks.
My battery just
My
went
leg
dead. I
was
don't know
going
Maybe
up.
put stuff away as we
just
come
went
up.
dead. Yeah, mine's
Cut it. Cut it.
So,
Jesus. I was like, Lord.
I didn't want
I had to get in at the end.
I
know, honey.
Help it. I don't blame